Ah! They kicked the crap out of him. they didn't even put up a fight. Oh my God. Welcome to the Viking AIDS podcast, the official podcast of the VikingAge.com. We do this every Monday and Thursday night at 6:15 p.m. Central Time right here on the Viking Age YouTube channel. And if you miss it, we have you covered in podcast form the very next day on Apple and Spotify. But however you listen, make sure you're liking, subscribing, giving us a good review because we never want you to miss a new episode. And we do not want you to miss an opportunity to win a Justin Jefferson jersey. Check the comments, the description below. All the instructions are there and the rules and all that stuff you probably don't read anyway, but it's great. Do play your cards right and you could get a purple. It is purple, right, Adam?
It could be purple, it could be white, it could be whatever color that.
It could be yellow.
Yeah.
It could be. I don't know. I've seen them. They always trigger me when people walk around with yellow Vikings jersey. It's like, we don't have those, guys. But yeah, whatever color you want, number 18 jersey right on your back. But anyway, my name is Chris Schad. I am a contributor at the Viking Age as well as Zone Coverage and Bring Me the News. On your right is my co-host, Adam Patrick, who is the managing editor of the Viking Age podcast. And holy shit, what a game yesterday, because the Vikings demolished the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, it was, I'm just not going to even pretend like I'm gonna be political. It was fucking amazing. It was week one. I know everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, settle down," but it was very enjoyable. Like, I don't know if I've enjoyed a Vikings game, at least early in the season, that much in quite a while. Like, I can't remember that early. Maybe 20. I don't even know. I don't even remember like an opening game where I was like, yeah, this is really good. But yeah, it was great. It was great. It was great because it was a good win. Everything went pretty well. No one really got hurt. It was against the Packers. Packers fans were just losing their minds. Aaron Rodgers was super pissed off at everybody. He was getting demolished. So yeah, it was fucking great. It was great.
It could not have gone better. Honestly, I mean, we'll talk about the rest of the NFC and everything later, but I mean, just what was going on that sideline was euphoric for Vikings fans. I honestly felt like I was taking what Aaron Rodgers has been talking about all offseason. That's how good it felt. Like I was just like high as a kite. Because you had Aaron Rodgers basically looking like he didn't want to be there. They beat him so bad, they turned back the clock to 2019. Is that game they won against the Vikings in US Bank Stadium to basically clinch the NFC North. I think they had to win a game next week, but that was basically when they clinched it. He looked like heel Eddie Guerrero walking around, just like miserable, doesn't want to be there, wasn't high-fiving his teammates or anything.
Same haircut too.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. He's got his haircut is basically like 90% of the WWE roster right now. I saw somebody compared it to Roger Klotz. If you're a little bit younger, that's the Bully and Doug.
Yeah.
Great show, by the way. If you're bored and just want to do some.
If I take my head off, I look like him. So
yeah,
because I got red hair, so I look like I'm Roger Klotz.
You do got the Roger Klotz haircut.
But yeah. I saw. Well, you sent me the meme of CM Punk. He's got the CM Punk haircut. That's what he has.
Yeah. So, I work with fucking children.
Yeah. That's exactly what he acted like yesterday too.
Well, let's dive into some of the offensive stats, and we got to start with Justin Jefferson. 9 catches, a career high, 184 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins had 23 of 32, 277 and 2 touchdowns. And Dalvin Cook on the ground, 20 for 90. He also added 3 catches for 18 yards. We got to start here with Justin Jefferson because I think that's the biggest takeaway from Sunday. Justin Jefferson is back, and I got to take off my purple. I want to see the world through. I haven't taken them off since the game yesterday, but I mean, it's very hard because they're polarized, and I can't see my computer screen. So you go ahead and talk, and I'll get my life together here.
Okay. Yeah, Justin Jefferson. I mean, what can you say about yesterday? We already knew he was arguably one of the best receivers in the NFL. He said before the season that he wanted to be regarded as the best receiver in the NFL by the end of this season. I think maybe he should just change that to by the end of week 1 because he looks like better than pretty much everybody in the NFL. I know Devontae Adams had a pretty good day on Sunday as well. But Justin Jefferson, like every time he got the ball in his hands, it was a big play. He was going down the field. He was wide open. Like if you're the Packers and you have multiple months like to prepare for week 1, you know you're going against Justin Jefferson. And he ends up being that wide open on not one play. It was like all day he was just wide open. Like that's embarrassing. And I know a couple of the corners, couple of the Packers corners after the game were like complaining, like, "Oh, that's embarrassing." And Jair Alexander was like, "Oh, I should have shadowed him." And it's like it's really not that simple. First off, like you can't just be like,
Yeah.
I'm going to shadow him." And then second, it's like the Vikings were going to do whatever they could to make sure that Justin Jefferson was going to get open. So that's a lot of Kevin O'Connell. That's a lot of Wes Phillips getting him just in the right spots. Going against Preston Smith, like that is that image that replay of you see just Preston Smith trying to cover Justin Jefferson. I just started laughing because I was like, this is exactly what the Vikings want.
The illusion of complexity.
Yeah, and that's not
Right?
gonna be the first time that happens. Like they're gonna be playing like the Bills or whatever later this season. You're gonna see like Von Miller probably trying to cover Justin Jefferson. Oh man, I just remembered that the Vikings and Bills are playing this season. That game after week 1, that could be really exciting. But yeah, Justin Jefferson is really good. You said 184 yards. That's the most week 1 receiving yards by a Vikings player in team history. So he's just starting off his third season, in the NFL with another team record because he doesn't have enough of those already.
You know what I thought as Justin Jefferson was going off like the entire first half? Run the ball, Gary. Run the ball. We got to run the ball more. Establish the run. Run the ball. Like, here's the thing. Justin Jefferson went off and like everybody still got theirs. Like Dalvin Cook had a good game. 20 for 90s. Not
23
bad.
touches. Yeah, he had 23 touches.
I mean, it's not like you just kind of reverse the order. It's like, okay, we're going to have Justin Jefferson there and he's going to open things up in the box. And then we're going to ram Dalvin Cook up the middle or into space more accurately with Kevin O'Connell. My biggest thing was just, I loved everything Kevin O'Connell did schematically in this game. The first drive was just shoot it into my neck. Like, screw my vein, just shoot it right into my neck, which is probably something that Aaron Rodgers does. But I mean, you start off with play action and it's a easy completion to Johnny Munt, which I thought was brilliant. How many games have we seen in the Mike Zimmer area where, they have Kirk Cousins? Oh, it's 3rd and long. Better chuck it up. No, like have Kirk throw if you're checked down on first down, it doesn't hurt you, right?
Yeah, get him in a rhythm.
That's a good play. So they got him in a rhythm. They had their first 2nd and 10 and they ran out of it, but it came out of a 4 receiver set, which like when they lined up, I'm like, I can't tell you that last time the Vikes ran a 4 receiver set. Like I was just like, it trips and then to one side. Yeah. And then they ran the ball. Justin Jefferson's running all over the place before the snap. They go all the way down the field. They go for it on 4th down, which is something that Mike Zimmer's not. Mike Zimmer was probably sitting on his ranch going like, what is this witchcraft? Like, what is going on? Like this shouldn't work. Like and Deion's like, hey man, calm down. Like this is how things are done now. And then you have Adam Thielen's comments where he's just like, I've never been a part of an offense where you're just attacking and attacking and attacking no matter the score or the situation. Who could he be talking about there? I don't know. Like, it sure as hell wasn't a high school coach. It wasn't a Mankato State coach. I'm pretty sure it was Mike Zimmer. But
Zimmer's the only head coach he's had in the NFL.
Yeah.
With 2013, I think he was on the practice squad, and that was Leslie Frazier, but he never played. I don't think he played in the season at all. So yeah, Mike Zimmer's really been the only head coach Adam Thielen's ever had with the Vikings. So yeah, he's definitely talking about Zimmer, and that's not a surprise. But that 4th down play, I liked it a lot because, like, I don't even know what the Packers. Well, again, I don't know what the Packers were doing. Like, someone just like they just ran away from Justin Jefferson. Like the guy, the farthest corner on the outside went to the inside, thinking that I guess someone was over there. Someone will get him.
Justin,
And
he was shocked he was that open. He said he's like, I thought Jair was right behind me, and he was like
oh yeah,
15 yards behind him.
yeah, because there was one catch where he caught it, and he didn't even really look ahead first. He kind of just ran 5 yards backwards, and then started going. And I think that's what he was talking about, where like he thought someone was right there, but nobody was there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this Packers defense, we've been hearing all summer, like it's supposed to be one of the best in the league. This trio of corners is supposed to be, one of the best in the league. They didn't look like it yesterday. No.
No, they did not. And Kirk Cousins, like you got to give credit where it's due.
Mhm,
Like he
mhm.
looked like a different quarterback under Kevin O'Connell. He looked confident. He didn't look like he was looking over his shoulder, worried about a mistake. I mean, he moved in the pocket. Like
Yeah.
he like that touchdown to Jefferson. He
Mhm.
stepped up and
Yep.
delivered the ball. He underthrew it, but I mean, he wasn't doing that under Mike Zimmer. So,
No.
like, is that coaching? Is that bleep you Zimmer type stuff? I mean, they slowed down in the second half, but I mean, like, we're kind of joking about like the Packers being like a great defense, right? They're a good defense. Like, I don't
They're
think
good,
that
yeah.
was them yesterday. And like, I need to smoke after this. Like, I don't even smoke, man. But I mean, it was that good watching this offense yesterday.
Smoked cheese.
Smoke
I'll
cheese,
give you a football term for you. Kirk had command of the offense. I'll give you that. Like
football.
yeah, he felt yeah, he felt like he could just it felt like when he was out there, he was in control. He wasn't worried about a head coach like uh, reaming him. When if he goes to the sideline, he wasn't worried about that stuff. He wasn't worried about not getting someone the ball enough. I mean, he did throw to CJ Ham once, so he did get that out of his system. He did throw to Johnny Munt. You mentioned a couple times. I think he was the second leading receiver in terms of catches yesterday. So
Yeah.
he had to have that. Um, but yeah, he made sure he got the ball to Justin Jefferson. Now I believe that Kevin O'Connell had a big influence on that, being like, "Hey, Jefferson is open like every play. You need to throw it to him." And then he'd start throwing to him. He's like, "Oh yeah, he is open every play. What are they doing?" Uh,
Revelation.
and this is not going to happen every week, or
Yeah.
maybe it will. Maybe it will. Maybe this will be the 98 Vikings version where everyone's like, "Oh, Randy Moss is going to be open every week," and he was. But they play the Eagles next week, who just gave up 35 points to the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel pretty good about this offense. The offense as a whole, like you mentioned, Dalvin Cook, he had over 100 total purpose yards quietly. Like no one even noticed. Like, oh yeah, Dalvin Cook over 100 total yards. No big deal. Just casually. Yeah.
Like, here's the thing, Dalvin Cook's a good player, but I mean, the amount of times that he can take over a game and be the sole reason you win it are very few. Like
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, look at Cooper Kupp last year. I mean,
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson could have a season where we're not talking about the Cooper Kupp role anymore. We're talking
No.
about the Justin
Yeah.
Jefferson role. Like,
Someone's gonna someone's gonna hire Wes Phillips and be like, "This player's gonna have the Justin Jefferson role." It's gonna be a
yes,
cycle.
yes, that is a tough flat circle. And like, here's the other thing with O'Connell too. Before I talk about the defense, like that culture that he set, you could see it. Think about
Yeah.
the last time we saw the Vikings in a regular season game. It was a freaking funeral. Like
Yeah.
Mike Zimmer was going to get fired. Justin Jefferson was mad because he didn't get the rest. Anthony Barr was at the podium eating a
Eat
freaking
ice cream.
popsicle because he's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, man, it's over.
Yeah.
Like just trying to feel better about life. Like
Yeah.
now it's
Yeah.
just like you have Kevin O'Connell like jumping up. He's high-fiving players. He's like fist pumping and
Yeah.
everything. Like they're up tempo offense. Like everybody's running around, they're dancing in the locker room. It's like, what is this? What is this team? Like it's awesome.
Yeah. It was good. Now, I will say, it's only one game.
It is
We've seen this before with the Vikings.
in the same game.
Yeah. So as exciting as it is, we'll talk about overreactions probably later or whatever, but, like,
Mhm.
I'm 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 tempering my reaction. I enjoyed it a lot yesterday. I was hooting and hollering or whatever, but I also know experienced this before in the past, and it didn't turn out very well. So,
Hater.
yeah.
Let's talk about the defense. Let's get more
Yeah.
positive vibes.
Yeah. Yeah.
People were talking on this show back in April, like you guys are not watch this show, man.
Yeah.
Listen to
Yeah.
this show. You
There you
want
go.
positive. When they win, we do things like this. When they lose, we bash the hell out of them
When they
because
fire people, we get negative. But,
we get angry.
when they beat the Packers by 16 points, we get positive.
So on the defensive side, Zadarius Smith actually wanted to kill the Packers because sometimes we see players like be like, I hate this team. I want to beat them. And then they do nothing. Like Zadarius Smith murdered the Packers on Sunday. He only had 2 tackles and he had a sack, but he was possessed. Like, remember that mascot that AJ Dillon killed during the summer?
Yeah.
Like, Zadarius Smith went up to him and basically reminded him he had a family because he tried to stop him on a blitz and got murdered. Like, scrape him off the turf type of, pancake. You look like you don't remember the play?
No, I'm looking up Zadarius Smith's pressures. He only had 2. So, like,
but it felt like more.
but the Vikings as a whole, which Zadarius Smith helped create, had 18 pressures yesterday. So,
Yeah.
like, everybody got in on the action, and Delvin Tomlinson and Daniel Hunter led the team with 3 pressures each. Like, Jordan Hicks had a pressure, Patrick Jones the sequel, DJ Wanham had pressures, Harrison Phillips, Eric Kent. Like, I know the Packers were missing their top 2 offensive tackles, but the interior of the offensive line was fine. They were not hurt. But yeah, this pass rush of the Vikings, if they stay healthy, it could do some things.
I mean, I love that Aaron Rodgers tried to throw a block on Zadarius and he swatted him like a fly.
Yeah.
And then he got up and like got his face like, I bet you won't hit me. But you do it. Yeah. Like, Zadarius is like, get out of my
And then he got
face.
knocked out by his own offensive lineman. But he didn't get evaluated for a concussion. The guy who knocked him out got the concussion. Because that makes a lot of sense.
Jordan Hicks had a rough day in coverage. I think he had a PFF grade of 47, but who cares? He had 14 tackles.
Whatever, yeah.
Harrison Smith had an interception of Aaron Rodgers. It was the first interception by Aaron Rodgers against a division opponent since 2019. Daniil Hunter had a sack. DJ Wanham had a sack. Like, is this a trend or a mirage with the Vikings defense?
I'd like to say it's a trend, but they also allowed, I believe, like 6.2 yards per rush yesterday. And if the Vikings offense was not, firing all cylinders, being ahead, I think like that could have came to bit them in the butt. Also that they got really lucky with that Christian Watson drop on like the very first play.
Mhm.
That could have changed the entire game. Because Patrick Peterson got smoked. And then that didn't happen again though. So they made adjustments to make sure that didn't happen again. But next week they're going against Devonta Smith and AJ Brown, so they better get their shit together. But yeah, I like the defense. They utilize the crowd noise to their advantage. The pass rush was awesome. They were in Aaron Rodgers' face like I felt like every play. I know it wasn't, but pretty much every time he dropped back, unless he got rid of the ball quickly, like they were there. And that's fun to watch. We haven't seen that in a while. Maybe like the heyday, maybe like 2017 when it was like Daniil Hunter and Everson Griffin and Anthony Barr getting after guys. But it's fun. I feel like I forgot how much fun it is to watch defense too, because the Vikings haven't been good on defense the last 2 years. Despite Mike Zimmer being the coach, they haven't been good on defense. And yeah, they made plays in the secondary. They didn't even have Lewis Seen out there. Harrison Smith, came up with an interception. I think Andrew Bynum he was part of that play on that final 4th down with Eric Kendricks in the end zone there. So yeah, there's a lot to be excited about, but just like with other things, there's still plenty to work on, but it's a really good start.
Like, I think it's more fun, especially against the Packers, with that quarterback looking like Aaron Rodgers looked like he wanted to go in a shack and smoke some peyote, like in the middle of nowhere.
Well, they took him out.
Yeah. Didn't come back for the last drive.
Yeah.
Just just like
That's
last year.
his face though, like, they have that meme or whatever or phrase hanging in the Louvre, like his face after Christian Watson dropped that pass because he was so wide open. They showed it so many times and it was great every time, but like his just like miserable face, like I gotta work with these guys. And at the same time, I'm thinking, hey, dude, maybe you should have spent some more time this summer with your young receivers instead of going on like all these
Acid trips.
podcasts to stick it to the media, because you're the victim of everything. But no, now he's the one getting mad at the young guys because they don't know what he likes, and it's like, well, you weren't there, and this is what happens. So I don't feel bad for him, but it was just really enjoyable every time he looked frustrated, which was most of the game. So it was a good time.
Like Matt LaFleur questioned his team's effort. It's week 1.
Yeah.
Like, he went into the locker room and he's like, what's wrong with you guys? Like the look on everybody's face was just like, what is happening right now? Like nobody on the Packers had answers for it. They looked completely unprepared. It was like Adrian Peterson fighting an adult. Like, I mean, where are the smokes? Like, shoot it into my veins or just crush it up. And I'm probably going like way too far on the drug scale here, but
I'm trying to think, is this like the best you felt after they beat the Packers? Like
2017 was pretty good.
Which when they knocked Rodgers out?
Yes. And like it always interests me because like when I talk to Packer fans about that game, they're just like, oh, you're cheering for people to get hurt. Yeah. And I'm like, no, if Aaron Rodgers wasn't your quarterback, you would understand. Yeah. Like, just the way that he acts and everything else. Like, and you know what? Everybody who actually meets the guy says he's not that bad. Cool dude. Yeah, but I mean, the way he comes across to people who like just general fans like you and I, it's just like you want to see that dude get pounded in the turf, just like, with the haircut and the podcast appearances. And I played on Percocet, but then they didn't test me and blah, blah. Yeah. Like, I'm sure like the NFL is just like, all right, Aaron Rodgers, every damn week we're gonna call him now. But
I'll make a prediction here. I don't think he's gonna be MVP this year. I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna be third straight.
And here's the thing about the Packers: like they looked like shit in week 1 last year, and then they won 13 games, and Aaron Rodgers won an MVP.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not burying the Packers after this game at all. But I mean, for 1 week to just I mean, we didn't know what to expect in this game. So to have it completely unexpected, like there's maybe like a 5% chance that this would have happened. And like,
I mean, the Vikings
just like, all right.
People picked them to win, but I don't think people picked them to win by 16 points. I don't think I didn't think that was going to happen.
Michael Irvin thought Kirk Cousins was going to throw 8 touchdowns. So
there's a lot of things you could say about Michael Irvin.
Speaking of drug use,
no. Hey, he's cleaned up now. He's doing good. Man. My dad just sent me a text and said he liked your comment about Adrian Peterson. So doing good with that. What were we talking about?
Michael Irvin in the White House.
Yeah. No. Like it's not even like Tom Brady where like I used to just not like him because he was so good. Now I just kind of respect him because he is so good. I don't think I've ever liked Aaron Rodgers. And now I just have even more reasons not to like him just because he feels so. It's like a better than attitude. I always thought like he was like this chill dude, and whatever. Like he's he's the Packers quarterback, so I just have to not like him, and I didn't really care about him off the field. But now I'm like, yeah, I can understand why like your family doesn't want to talk to you, or be around you, or you've broken up with like 7 girlfriends in like 3 years.
Have you ever seen like the interview he did with Laura Oakman, like on a beach, and he had a guitar and he was just like,
I don't think so.
Strumming.
It
was weird.
I was gonna say though,
Laura's just like, yeah, okay, yeah, but
I was gonna say that this. You said what 2017 was a good Vikings Packers win. I'm still probably gonna go 2009 with Favre in the
Oh yeah.
Metrodome against the Packers.
Well,
What
even the one in
did Jared
Lambeau
Allen?
was good too.
Yeah, didn't Jared Allen have like 4 sacks or something in that game?
Yeah,
I
he
feel
went
like.
off.
Yeah, so those were good. This was good too. Let's not get it twisted, but yeah. And this has the feelings though of '98 Monday Night Football in Lambeau, and Randy Moss goes off, and people are like, "Oh, like these guys are good." Now it's only week one, so not gonna get the same feelings, but like it has. I had similar vibes from, it. But yeah, it's only one game, but they're off to a really good start. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you had texted me, hey, let's talk if people are overreacting to this game. Because yeah, I'm a little worried. I'm still there. I mean, I'm not a pessimist, but like you said, we've seen it with this team.
I think if you're a Vikings fan, you have to be though.
You have to expect the worst. Like so one of
Realist.
the
Let's
one
say
of the things
realist.
that Luke
Not
Braun did in his
yeah.
documentary
Yeah.
was he talked about like shoveling snow, and like you shovel snow and it just comes back again. You have to shovel
Yeah.
it again. Like
Yeah.
that's the Vikings, which
Yeah.
is brilliant. But 538 drank some purple Kool-Aid. They doubled the Vikings Super Bowl odds. It went up from 3% to 6%, and you're like, well, that's not a big chance, but it is the fourth highest odds. So you got a 6% chance to win the Super Bowl, but Justin Jefferson's a genetic freak. So you got a 5% chance at best of beating me. And the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at sacrifice, Aaron Rotten. Sorry, Steiner math. But the Vikings went from 35-1 in Super Bowl odds to 25-1.
Pretty big jump.
And people are now crowning them as the NFC champions because the rest of the conference was, oh my God, bad this weekend. Rams, bad. Bucks, not great. Cardinals, yikes. Saints, they won, but they were down by
Barely.
16 in the fourth quarter. 49ers, you know the scene in Toy Story where like, you know, Andy's got Woody and he's like, I don't want to play with you anymore. And he throws him in the garbage. Like that's Kyle Shanahan with Trey Lance right now. Like I don't want to play with you anymore after you traded like 5 years of first round picks to go get him. The Packers. Okay. So let's ask, are we overreacting here or what?
Oh, for sure. 1000%. Like I said earlier, like we've been here plenty of times. 2016, what did they do? Start 5-0. Like, here we go. Got Sam Bradford. We're good. We got this defense. We're good. Just
2003.
Explode.
You start 6-0, and then all of a sudden, like Nathan Poole's catching touchdowns in the end zone.
2006, they went 1-0. They finished 6-10. Let's see. I found this out. They've finished 1-0 like 11 times in the last 20 years, and they've only made the playoffs 5 times. So that's 45%. Now, on the flip side, I also mentioned this, that in each of their last 4 NFC Championships appearances, so 98, 2000, 2009, 2017, those teams all started 1-0. So you can either take it from either way. But yes, let's slow down. This is football. Injuries happen, so I'm not, hoping that anything happens, but it's part of the game. Look at the Cowboys right now. Their season's probably already over because Dak Prescott's out. And
hey, don't discount Cooper Rush, man.
Listen,
we've seen what he can do.
Yeah,
we've seen what we can do.
Is he going to be out for when they play the Vikings? When do they play the Vikings?
6 to 8 weeks. So that would be week
Pretty close.
7 or week 9. Yeah.
But yeah, 1-0.
Oh God, Cooper Rush revenge game.
No, Kirk Cousins revenge game. Okay.
Get well soon, Dak. Get well soon.
That's gonna be a game where Kirk Cousins throws for like 400 yards. Seems like Zimmer's not here, so I can just do whatever I want. But yeah,
I can call timeouts now.
let's chill out. Like you mentioned, the Packers got blown out last year in week 1. That was a weird game where it was like in Jacksonville, and Jameis Winston was just he threw like 5 touchdowns, but he had like 150 yards passing, so it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. He's so weird, by the way.
That's a Jameis game in a nutshell.
That is
The only thing that would have been better is if you would have thrown 5 picks on top of the 5 touchdowns.
Also, Michael Thomas getting so excited about 2-yard touchdowns is exactly the way I remember him. Because
good for him, though.
No, he's good. It's good that he's back.
Yeah,
he was out for a while. He needed those. I still don't like him.
Neither do I, but good for him.
But yes, let's chill out. Like the Super Bowl odds. At the same time, I think the Bucks are the only NFC team that has the better percentage chance or whatever on 538. They didn't look good yesterday.
No,
the Vikings look better than them.
Yeah.
Now this is the Bucks, and that Tom Brady's known for getting better as the season progresses. But who's to say the Vikings can't do that now with their coaching staff and their philosophy? So, yeah, I mean, I don't think we ever thought this team was capable of reaching the Super Bowl heading into this season. And now people think so. So, I'm still hesitant. I'm really curious about next week's game. I think next week's game will tell us even way more than this week's game for sure. Because I think the Eagles are really good, and it's going to be on the road, tough environment. So I'm looking forward to see what happens next week.
I need to see them do this next week in Philadelphia to be like full flat. Like if they beat Philadelphia, it is on. Like I think it's on because after that, what you come home and you face the Lions. They're tough. They got all this grit.
Yeah, don't sleep on them.
They're like 4 wins. But
they fought pretty hard. They fought pretty hard yesterday.
Hey, I love Dan Campbell, man.
Oh, yeah.
He is like, you and I are wrestling fans. He's like the ultimate baby face right now. Like if you're not cheering for Dan Campbell, you don't have a soul.
He's like Daniel Bryan and like WrestleMania, was it 30? Not 30. Like a couple years ago when he had that awesome run where like everybody was cheering for him.
The ultimate underdog.
Yeah.
Like so, but I mean, you go home, you face the Lions, right? You hop on a plane to London, play the Saints on a neutral site game. They're beatable. Come home, you play the Bears. They're beatable if you're not playing them in a monsoon and it's, indoors. Then you go to Miami. Miami's going to be tough. I'm still not sold there, but I mean,
they
go
won
5-1,
but
you go 4-2.
They won yesterday, but they didn't look that good. Like the Vikings won and they looked good, but yeah, the schedule now for the Vikings, you mentioned like the Lions, the Bears coming up. The Cardinals do not look good. The Commanders barely beat the Jaguars. The Cowboys, who knows if Dak Prescott's going to be ready for that. The Patriots, not good. Jets, not good. Colts look terrible. Giants, I don't know about them. I told you. I had a weird feeling about them a couple weeks ago. And they just upset the Titans. So they're a weird team. I wouldn't be shocked if they were kind of decent this year. And the Bills, obviously. I think the Bills is just going to remain the toughest game on the Viking schedule. They win that game. Oh, man. Yeah. So
this team has a split personality and it's still the same roster. Like, remember the Pittsburgh game? It's like, what were they up? I don't, it was 30,
29,
I think.
29 points.
Yeah, 29 points. And then Pittsburgh, like it took a drop in the final play to like beat them.
Speaking of Pittsburgh, why do we always keep doubting them? Like everyone was like, oh, Bengals are going to win by like 2 touchdowns yesterday. And I'm like, Mike Tomlin's still the head coach. Like they got rid of.
Got Brian Flores on the staff too.
Yeah. And they got rid of
great coach,
a quarterback who wasn't good. So like everyone's like, oh, Bengals. And I'm like, the Steelers are good. They just lost TJ Watt for a while, so I don't know how good they'll be now. But
TJ, brother of JJ and Derek.
They just can't help
bully
themselves.
People on the subway.
They need to be on the injury report. Like if you're a Watt, you have to be in the you're in the NFL, but you have to be on the injury report for like a certain amount of time.
And you have to make a John Cena comeback table.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, my God, it's JJ Watt. My God. My God.
Because JJ Watt's hurt already. He hasn't even played yet. He's already hurt.
What's your biggest like surprise from week 1? Like what's your hottest take
around the league?
Yes.
I like like I said, I like the Giants. I think it's similar to the Vikings. It's a different vibe. They probably feel more free and loose in that locker room. Daniel Jones has his problems or whatever. But I think, and Saquon Saquon Barkley looks like he's back to normal. So yeah, I would not be surprised if they in that division they're in, like the Commanders. We talked about the Eagles. Eagles can be good. The Cowboys probably aren't going to be good. So like, and the NFC is pretty wide open. Like I don't know. Like there wasn't a whole lot maybe that surprised me yesterday. The Colts surprised me. The Colts did
Yeah.
surprise me. That was embarrassing. I'm mad at Matt Ryan because it cost me money. Can't throw 2 touchdowns against the Texans. Come on, man. But yeah, there wasn't a ton. I feel like tonight might be a surprise. Maybe the Seahawks beat the Broncos because everyone's assuming the Broncos are going to be like they're a Super Bowl contender because they got Russell Wilson. But like, did they improve the rest of their roster as much? Because I don't think they did. And the Seahawks, like they always play hard under Pete Carroll, so who knows? And week one's weird. Week one's always weird. So, what about you?
Here's my take. I think the Patriots are the new Vikings. Like, remember how it was last year where you just kind of knew it was like ending?
Okay. I was
and,
wondering
like,
where you're going. I'm like, the Vikings
I
don't
mean,
have 6 Super Bowls.
Yes. But I mean, here's so like, yeah. I mean, that's a huge difference here. But I mean, like, Bill Belichick is like looking like Mike Zimmer right now, where he's just old, he's trying to hang on and everything else. And like, you know, he's still a good coach. Like, same with Zimmer. Zimmer was a good coach, but I mean, Bill Belichick just, I'm going to hire Joe Judge and Pat Patricia to run this offense. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Like, it's like Zimmer. It's basically like, but I think Belichick's smart enough to be like, okay, I need to be hands-on with the offense, but he's not an offensive guy. It's like if Mike Zimmer all of a sudden was just like, Kirk, I'm going to start working with you. And Kirk's like, no, you're
That's when things went wrong though with the Vikings.
Yeah.
Mike Zimmer would be like, RPOs. Now we're going to get rid of these. Get these out of here. Just I formation, run it up the gut. Okay. No question.
Where's Dalvin?
Yeah.
He loved Dalvin so much he signed a defensive player named Dalvin. What do we need? What do we need, Mike? We need somebody like Dalvin.
Is Dalvin going to play the whole season? Like, they're. I feel like he got a bunch of touches yesterday, but I feel like he's going to be. It's not every drive. They're not pounding him into the ground every drive. I felt like yesterday it was much more spread out. He didn't take many, terrible hits like he has in the past. I feel like if he plays the whole season, that would be huge for the Vikings.
Yeah. I mean, Derrick Henry's the only player with more rushing yards than Dalvin Cook over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Like, Jonathan Taylor should be in that discussion, but he came in the league in 2020. So like 2 years, but I mean, if he stays healthy, my good Lord, like there's so many fun things about this team. Like, I'm excited for next Monday. Like, I'll be putting together a paper as it's going on, but
now do they have Joe Buck? Or isn't there another game? There's 2 games. But do the Vikings get Joe Buck? Let me look.
Well, the other one's Bills Titans.
Yeah, so I don't know. Because I feel like they might want to go with the Bills. Let me see real quick. Let's see if 506 Sports has it. Usually pretty good with that stuff. Let's see. Yes, they do. They do have Joe Buck because it's on ABC too.
NFC East.
Yeah, Tennessee and Buffalo.
Give me the NFC East game. I know these guys.
Get Steve Levy, Louis Riddick, and Dan Orlovsky. No thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've said it before. ESPN's commentary crew for Monday Night Football should be good announcer. Like, I don't know if Joe Buck could pull this off, but let's say Joe Buck, and then you add Rob Gronkowski, and you add Pat McAfee, and those two, like, have Joe Buck call the game. Yeah. Oh, McAfee is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I like him like as a WWE announcer, so I'm a little bit selfish. Probably you are too, but at the same time, like, I think McAfee is a very good football commentator. And I love him on game day. Yeah.
And he's done a couple NFL games, I feel like, for Fox.
Yeah. Well, and it would just be fun to have like Gronkowski and McAfee talk football and like give each other shit for 3 hours while Joe Buck tries to like rein them in.
I feel like Gronk would get bored really fast because
that's true.
Because
he's probably a better studio analyst.
Yeah, being an announcer, I feel like it's more work than we think it is. Like some people might think like you just go in the booth and you just commenting on the
Mhm.
game. It's like, no, you gotta like interview people, you gotta scout the game too. Like so Pat McAfee's already doing that stuff. He's doing college game day now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll watch some of the game tonight because of Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. So like,
I'll probably flip back and forth.
yeah, yeah, so that'll be good. Hey, when's the last time the Vikings had a big win and then went to Philly? Do you remember that?
Well, that's all the time we have for the Viking 8 today. We do this every Monday and Thursday at 6:15 p.m. right here on the Viking Age YouTube channel. You can like, comment, share, subscribe so you never miss a new episode. And you have a chance to win a Justin Jefferson jersey. Reminder, all the details are down in the comment section. So for Adam Patrick, I am Chris
If there's
Schad,
any
and
left,
we
by the
will
way.
see, yes, and I will see you on Thursday night.